Here we have a used 2008 Toyota Camry. This one comes in the SE trim level, black on black cloth. Powertrain consists of a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. It's mated to the optional 5-speed automatic transmission. And this one has just about 188,000 miles, so we're gonna see how it's held up. But as we come around to the front end here, we get those halogen projector lights, which I like. And then we have the fog lamps as well. And I like the SE trim level. It's just a bit sportier, I think, compared to the regular Camry, specifically the LE. Down here we get 17-inch alloy wheels. I also like the look of those. Out to the door panel, we get one touch down on our driver's side window, regular power windows for the other 3 doors, power door locks, rear window locks. Door panel there. We do get the JBL sound system. I'll show you that in a minute. Power mirror controls are here. Hood release, foot pedal parking brake, and then this is our hood release, and then our gas cap release. We get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. And there's the power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. And I have that seat adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" in my driving position. But we're gonna check out the rear leg room. Big shout out to Daryl Waltrip Honda for allowing me to borrow this Camry today. I'll leave a link below in the description. And if you're looking to find a Toyota Camry in your area and you wanna make sure you get the best possible price on one, make sure that you check out the link below, fill out that info, and then I'll get the dealers in the area fighting to give you that best price on a Camry. Let's check out this space. And hopefully you all can hear me over the cicadas, but very good space back here. Seat back pockets are on both sides. And one of the reasons the space is so good back here is because in that driver's seat, I'm able to adjust it to have optimal space for myself, but also make sure that I maximize the space for the back here. Dome lights here, grab handle, we can hang a hanger hook there if we want to. And then center seat, fold that down. Bottle holders are there. And then you have a run-through cubby right there. A run-through area there, I should say. Let's make our way towards the back of the vehicle. Gas cap there. And then you can unlock the trunk from back here with a key. But there is the cargo space itself. So I like that we have this pocket on the side for stuff we want to have in the back and not want it rolling around. And this has an aftermarket cargo mat, an all-weather mat, I should say, which is useful. I'm gonna see if I can get under here and look at the spare tire. Underneath about 4 layers, so it's under there, and you just got to screw that off. But there's a look at the actual back end, and even in 2008, a pretty nice taillight design. I like that. And there's our exhaust right there. As we come around to the front passenger side, manual seat back, seat bottom there. And then we have these side pockets on both sides, which I like. You can kind of put your iPod there and run it off the aux or something of that nature. Owner's manuals are still in this glove box. And then as we come back around to the front, there's that 2.4 4-cylinder. That hood is hot. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So leather wrap steering wheel still seems to be in good shape. There's the horn there. Our clock is up there, you can't really see it. But we can adjust that just by holding this, whether we want to change the hours or the minutes. Hazards are there. We have a CD drive here, so CD player is there, and we can load different discs in. Volumes here, click there to turn the audio off. Tune knob is there. And then all this pretty self-explanatory: radio, aux and CD, the FM, and then we have our presets down here. Now again, we have the JBL sound system, so that's why that is there. So we get the JBL speakers, so on and so forth. Single zone manual climate controls, we can adjust temperature here. fan speed, fan direction. And then back in there, there's a 12 volt and an aux, which is kind of hard to see because it's pitch black. And then here, 2 bottle holders. And here, 12 volt additional storage. And for the shifter, just hit the brake, grab the lever, reverse, neutral, drive, 4th, 3rd, and then you have 2nd, and then low right there. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. Center console cubby space, removable tray there. And then we do have a sunroof, so there's a sunshade. And let's see how this holds up. We can tilt it. Tilts pretty good. And we can also slide it. And we can one-touch slide that. And it goes back a very good deal, and then you can hit it a second time to get it all the way back behind the sunshade, and then you can one-touch close it too. So was not expecting that. That's pretty neat for a vehicle of this age, I think. Vanity mirrors there. Now back to the steering wheel, blinkers, and we do have automatic headlamps. We can turn the daytime running lights off as well, and then fog light controls are there, high beams, and then we can flash there. Intermittent wipers are on this side, one time off, intermittent low, high. We can adjust that intermittent frequency here, pull up here for the front wiper fluid. Volume controls, trackless radio station presets. We can go through our audio sources, and then we can hold it to turn the actual radio off. And then we have our phone controls here, voice recognition. And then if you click here, this turns the cruise on, and then you can adjust it there, and then cancel by pulling up there. And we do have an additional tray here, which is kind of neat. And then here's our turnkey, and there's a fob there. We can unlock, lock, pop the trunk, and hold for the panic button. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2008 Camry SE out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Camry, it's just crazy to think that this has 188,000 miles on it, and it's still driving perfectly fine so far. I had to pull out into traffic, and I didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. The transmission's still shifting well. The 4-cylinder still drives pretty nicely. And in the stop and go traffic, it's handling like it should. So pickup is actually pretty good here, especially shifting with this 5-speed. Has a nice grunt to it, even though it's a 4-cylinder. I'm gonna put in a second. I'm just gonna see how this thing does. So I actually like that it kind of shifts with the stick. You know, that's not really what it's meant for. It's meant to kind of hold your gear, but it's cool that it's able to do that. Overall ride comfort so far is pretty decent. And again, with this being as old as it is, these aren't new shocks. This isn't a new suspension system. These aren't new wheel bearings and all of that. So the fact that it's still riding relatively well, knowing that I'm sure a few of these parts could be replaced, it's pretty impressive. You know, you get into some of the older Cadillacs and they'll have 80,000 miles on them and the struts are out and it'll just freaking bounce down the road. And not having that issue here. And you know, these are things to consider when looking at used cars, especially those that are approaching 200,000 miles. The power seat still works here, radio still sounds good, steering still feels good, brake pedal feels normal. Now another cool thing about this car is I actually like the gauge cluster here, even though nothing is digital except this down here that shows the odometer, and I can change that to the trip meter if I want to. It looks very unique, it's just very nice to look at, I think. Let's give it a little pull here. Not bad at all. Now, not the quickest shifting transmission with this being as old as it is and only being a 5-speed, but again, if you want to, you could kind of throw it in your own gear if you choose. Just with this kind of miles and stuff though, I wouldn't really want to fool with it, because a lot of these older cars, especially the Japanese ones, they like to do weird stuff if you push them too hard. And if you've seen some of my older Honda Civic reviews, even as new as a 2017 model, I tried to floor it getting on the interstate and it threw itself into a freaking limp mode, which was not fun. Now I don't expect that to happen here with the Camry, but I'm still not gonna floor it just because I just don't want to take that chance. And you should be allowed to do that in your own car, but a lot of the times, just certain things with older vehicles, they start going bad and you don't want to have to fool with that. So we're going to try and give it a little pull getting on the interstate here. If we can open it up. All right, here we go. So that's about all we're gonna get. Actually, I'm gonna try this as soon as I have enough space. So not the strongest engine, but I mean, hey, it got up. It has the power to merge, definitely. But all in all, still a pretty decent used car, I think. You probably got several thousand miles left on this one. I want to give one more thank you to Daryl Waltrip Honda for allowing me to review this Camry today. I'll leave a link below in the description. And if you're looking for a Camry in your neighborhood, definitely make sure you check out the link below, fill out the information. It takes about a minute or two, and then we can get you matched up with a dealer that's trying to get you the best price on a Camry. But I mean, final thoughts, this still holds up very well, still drives really good. And again, I think it has a ton of life left in it. And there's nothing that's wrong with it that I can sense just driving this around town. And I put my foot in it a couple times, so I think that says a lot. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2008 Toyota Camry SE.